Hello YouTube, this is the Optical Tailor, your optician and styling consultant. This is a continuation of our previous MASUNAGA KENZO K3 collection video, and in this video we'll be focusing on the optical frames. We've been flooded with messages and emails in regards to the optical collection, especially given the popularity and demand of the MOC collection. We do understand the MOC collection, being as exclusive as it is, comes with a price tag which is not accessible to everyone, whereas the Kenzo Takada collection, at an average retail price of 700 USD, is very accessible, and to be honest, it's a bargain for what you get compared to the price of your typical fashion brands these days, such as Tom Ford's, Gucci's, Versace's, Cartier, and whatnot. The first frame I will jump right into is a personal favorite of mine, which is the Rigel. The Rigel is an acetate titanium combo. It actually features dual acetate front, so you've got that three-dimensional effect with black on the outside and a burgundy red on the inside. Red's a personal favorite color of mine, and it's very hard to pull off in eyewear sometimes without being too out there, but Masunaga, or I should say Kenzo Takada, just got it perfect with this one. This is a very neutral frame shape, so it fits well with oval faces. My face shape is quite oval. I've got a longer, elongated face, or if you have a square face or a round face, this fits well and will look great on anyone. And it truly elevates your style to wear a frame of this nature. The next one we have here is the Juno. And if you guys watched the first video, you will remember the Juno. This was the one that I had with the gradient red lenses. If you haven't watched the first video, please go back and watch it, as that will give you better insight into the Kenzo Takada collection. This is one of those classic brow bar frames, or what we would call a clubmaster style, and again, very neutral. It looks good on just about everyone. This frame is also one of those ones where if you do have a higher prescription, it will work very well, given the fact that it's a 52mm eye size. That's one thing about Masunagas in general. If you have higher prescriptions, given the fact that none of their frames are too large or out there in terms of style, they work very well. What Masunaga are the masters of, or especially the Kenzo Takada collection, is the fine details. This one here is the Hadar. And this is also a brow bar type frame, but as you can see, it's a much lighter look than the Juno. For those of you who are looking for something a bit more subtle, or that traditional wire design, but you just don't want it to be entirely boring or just a straight wire all the way around, the Hadar is such a great look. And honestly, I can say it feels like nothing. It's such a light frame, being a full titanium frame. It weighs absolutely nothing. It's essentially feather light. And the brushed gold is very nice as well. For those of you who want something a little bit more subtle, but you still want a bit of flash, the brushed gold is the way to go. The next frame we have here is the Comet. This is your traditional round brow bar type frame. Here we have three different brow bar style frames. You've got the Juno here, which is actually a full acetate, but it's much thicker across the top, so it almost gives it that semi-rimless look. And then you've got the Hadar here with the bar just across the top. And then with this, you've got a full acetate brow bar that extends through the bridge as well. The Comet is a little bit smaller for what I would typically wear. I'm not going to call it a Harry Potter frame, but if Harry Potter were to wear a Kenzo Takada, this would probably be his frame of choice. It's such a unique frame. It's got the high polished gold finish with the Kabori filigree on the temples. And it's such a unique frame in the collection. One thing that I really like about this frame is also the lotus detailing on the inside of the frame where the screws meet the acetate. Every small little detail is entirely thought out of in the Masunaga Kenzo Takada frames. The next frame we'll be looking at is the Anemone. Round frames are always the best, as they can actually reduce that edge thickness, and with a frame like this that has a bit of a side shield to it, we can mask a lot of that edge thickness. Another thing that I do love about the Kenzo Takadas is just the shape of how the temples are contoured right by your temporal bone. They just slide right in, and it's a perfect fit. It just holds it right there, and it's very snug. The next frame we've got here is the Series. This is again similar to the Hadar in terms of being a brow bar type frame, whereas the Hadar has a bit more of a square shape. The series is a bit more of a traditional round. So it's not too serious, even though it's called a series. If you're looking for something a bit more friendly, something a bit more approachable, round frames are always that. And this is in a brushed silver, but is also available in a brushed gold as well, similar to the Hadar. The next frame we have in the round shape is the Mazar. And the Mazar, similar to the Anemone, actually has an acetate titanium combination. So again, that gives these frames a little bit more edge thickness compared to a traditional metal frame. And with that edge thickness, it allows us to hide higher prescriptions a bit better. This is an entirely unique frame. I've never actually seen a frame with this color of acetate. And those of you with fairer skin tones or light brown to blonde hair, this is a very complimenting color, which can also be accented with either gradient tints, light tints, or even mirrored lenses. The next frame we're going to get into is the Libra. And for those of you that have noticed, I've activated my Tobii here. This is a green transitions or G15 transitions with a blue mirror on top. And it makes for such a cool pair of glasses and gives this an entirely different look. It essentially goes from being a clear optical frame to a sunglass. The Libra here is your traditional rectangular frame. I'm going to put it on for you guys to get an idea what it looks like on the face. And as you can see again, with my oval face shape, it complements my face very well. This is best suited for those of you with either a round face or an oval shape. If you're more of a square shape, I would stay away from it because it will be a little too boxy looking. This particular frame is a very nice acetate in a tortoise finish with brushed titanium temples. And again, that classic filigree or kibori, spelled K-E-B-O-R-I, which is a Japanese carving technique, is immaculate. It's just one of those things you don't see on your typical frames, especially not on frames that are entirely handcrafted. The next frame we have here is the Kiri. And this is one where the kibori detailing is just beautiful right across the top of the brow. If you guys are into knives, fine handcrafted Japanese knives or samurai swords, this is a pattern or design that you will definitely have seen in the past. And it is something that's entirely unique to Japan. The Kiri here has full polished temples, so they're a bit higher shine, a bit more of a smooth finish. And this frame shape is one that's a little bit more unique. I would say it's not a personal favorite of mine, but for those of you who are looking for an oversized rectangle, this is a great choice. This is one of those frames that is better for those of you with a larger face shape, as you've got a 53mm eye size with a 20mm bridge. The final frame we'll be looking at here is the calf. This is in a matte black titanium acetate combination, and the calf shares its temple design with the Juno. And it's one of the most unique temple designs in the entire collection because it's a little bit thicker. It's got an acetate inlay, and it doesn't use the traditional kibori found on the other MASUNAGA KENZO frames. The calf it's a square, but it's more of a rounded square. So for those of you with square face shapes, round face shapes, and ovals, it works fairly well. But it is a bit of a thicker look. So if you're not one who likes to wear bold frames, this is probably one that I would avoid. And you can go with something a bit more finer in the collection. But if you're looking to make a statement or you want that acetate look or a thick, chunky acetate look without actually being Cutler and Gross level of thick and chunky, this is the one to go for. All of these frames are available here at the Optical Tailor, and you can also check them out on our website down below at www.theopticaltailor.com. As always, if you've been enjoying our content and would like to follow along with the Optical Tailor journey, please give us a like and a subscribe below so you can stay tuned for all of our future videos. As always, we're always receiving questions in our inbox and through our Instagram from you guys, so I'm going to address the top 5. The first one being, what's the difference between the Kenzo Takata collection and the standard Masunaga collection? So first and foremost, the standard Masunaga collection is entirely designed in-house, whereas when it comes to the Kenzo collection, all of that design inspiration comes from Kenzo Takata and his team at the K3 studios. K3 is the company that was founded in 2020 by Kenzo Takada and Joseph Boucher Mannheim. Number 2, I'm a viewer from Vietnam. If I send my prescription in, can I place an order with you guys? Do you ship internationally? Yes, we definitely do. We've shipped glasses all the way from the US to Mexico to Japan to Singapore. So we do ship all over the world. And as long as you send us in a prescription that is from a licensed and reputable optometrist or optician, we can definitely take care of that for you. I don't see Masunaga advertised much. Why is this? That's question number 3. The reason Masunaga isn't heavily advertised is they're not trying to be a commercial brand. Going back to their mission philosophy where they just want to focus on making a fine pair of eyewear, and whether they make a profit or not, that's secondary. Whereas when you look at commercial brands, they're only in the business to make a profit. That being said, Masunaga also manufactures in very limited quantities. So it's just one of those things where they can't supply every optical store, every duty-free store, every retail front. And they really want to keep it exclusive, and therefore it's something that you don't really see everywhere. Question number 4. Is Masunaga the finest crafted eyewear in the world? In my unbiased professional opinion, I would have to say yes, definitely. There are many brands that sell at price points higher than Masunaga, and that is why Masunaga actually came out with the MOC collection. Their philosophy behind that being if they're manufacturing these collections for other brands, which are upwards of $2,000-3,000, why don't we make something under our own brand label? An average craftsman at Masunaga is only a master of his craft once they hit the 50s or approaching their 60s. So it truly goes to show here in the West, when we are starting to think about retiring, that's when the average craftsman at Masunaga is just hitting their peak or becoming a true master at what they do. Masunaga also manufacture, as I mentioned, for other brands. One of my favorites being Dita. And anyone that's familiar with Dita knows the craftsmanship and quality of Dita it's unmatched, especially with the Epi Luxury collection. So therefore, I have to say definitely yes. Masunaga are some of the most finest crafted and best glasses in the world. Question number 5. If you could choose one Masunaga or K3 collection frame, which one would it be and why? That one's tough. I'm one of those individuals where I've got a vast collection of over 60 plus frames. And it would be very hard to pick just one. But if I had to pick just one, it would be the one that I'm wearing, which is the Toby, or its sister frames, the Taka, or the Masago here, which is essentially just a slightly larger version of the Taka. These frames, I just love the black iron finish on them with the gold inner rim. And these frames, they weigh absolutely nothing compared to a lot of my frames, which are very bold, thick titanium, such as Dita. These frames, they just have such a nice, fine finish to them. But they have such a fine, detailed look to them. And it truly sets them apart from your standard Masunagas and even other Kenzo Takada frames. So that being said, if I were to pick just one, it would be the Toby because that's the one that I did pick even out of the 3, or it would be the Masago or the Taka.